After a narcissistic attack, another thing that appears is the savior need. It shows up suddenly, and I can tell it isn't originally mine. It's the narcissistic energy being processed through my body. Normally I don't feel this. Once the implant is in, I notice these indicators of narcissistic energy emerging day by day, in different forms. That's why I want to record and share them, so there's a trace of what actually happens and so you can recognize them in yourself when the implant is active, and know they are not yours. What I experience now is a recurring thought pattern, silently calling out, "Please, come and rescue me." It feels like a prayer, but it's not a natural impulse. It's an implanted or activated narcissistic tool running through me. It broadcasts helplessness, a frequency that invites so-called saviors into my reality. For example, when I'm working I find myself seeing clients as saviors because they provide money. I feel exaggerated gratitude toward them. Not genuine, but distorted by the implant. I can sense this energy affecting them too, like I'm unintentionally pulling them into the narcissistic game. The worst part is you can't simply switch it off. You wait for the charge to move through and clear, and meanwhile the implant is busy wrecking relationships. I've realized, maybe I always knew, but now I see it more clearly, that its function is to break connections, with people, with my body, with ordinary structures like work. It pushes me into extremes. I might overwork, driving myself beyond reason, or I might become unable to work at all. Others interpret those behaviors through their own lens, "You're lazy," or "You're irresponsible," when actually I was overtaken by a parasitic energy. That's how the setup works. The implant creates a window of time during which you act, react, and create patterns that later attract blame, rejection, or abuse. By the time the charge loosens, you're left holding the consequences of actions you didn't genuinely choose. People see you as the source of the problem because, from the outside, it looks like your choices. The cruelty is that responsibility is laid at your feet while the real parasite hides behind the illusion. So the savior story is twofold. It's the feeling of needing rescue, and it's the way the implanted energy manipulates relationships, pulls others into the circuit, and sets you up to appear culpable, all while the true predator remains invisible. After a narcissistic attack, another symptom that surfaces is this deep disconnection from people, especially in terms of intimacy. I may have mentioned it before, but now I see it even more clearly. Even if the implant is small, the effect feels profound. I feel dead inside on a deep level. It's like my body is protecting the intimate places of myself, emotionally, energetically, because those areas have been cut, violated, or exposed repeatedly. So when someone tries to touch that part of me, even in a humane, caring way, it's painful. The result is a disconnection from people with whom I could otherwise have normal, humane connections. This implant is designed to destroy those authentic connections and replace them with something artificial, a connection based on narcissistic energy, a charge. It enters your life and subtly destroys the natural bonds you could have. There's very little you can do while it's active except wait for it to clear. Support yourself with basic care like eating well or meditating, and stay aware. These small actions help, but most of the time we're operating within the machinery of daily life, having to go places, fulfill obligations, and can't simply pause for the implant to dissipate. What helps me now is knowing where these feelings are coming from. I make sure that I'm not letting external influences cloud my perception. Even so, the implant can suddenly bring waves of guilt, shame, and humiliation, emotions that arise without conscious cause. They stem from being deeply mistreated, often by people who were supposed to care for me. It's a profound feeling of being trapped, belittled, humiliated, and the shame settles deep in the pit of the stomach. Interestingly, these feelings can manifest as a kind of hunger. Shame, guilt, humiliation, suppressed anger, and frustration all create an urge to eat, as if the body is trying to soothe or numb the emotional pain with food. Eating may quiet it temporarily, but it doesn't address the true root of the sensation. This is where these energies accumulate in the body, and recognizing them is the first step in separating what is mine from what has been implanted. This process, observing the implanted energy, supporting your body, and witnessing the shame and disconnection without letting it define you, is crucial for healing. It teaches you to hold space for your own authentic connection while resisting the parasitic pull of narcissistic charge. After a narcissistic attack, another effect that shows up is extreme jumpiness, like my body is wired to react to the smallest stimulus. Normally, I consider myself a calm, patient person. I rarely react impulsively or get startled. But after the implant, even small noises make me jump in my chair, my body instantly tensing, ready to run. The reaction is so strong that it feels like my whole nervous system is on alert. It's similar to living with PTSD. Narcissistic abuse creates a constant emotional war zone. You can be peaceful one moment, and the next moment, something triggers an attack, not physical necessarily, but energetic, psychological, and emotional. Just like in war, the threat is constant, even if attacks aren't happening every second. The fear, tension, and anticipation are ever present. This constant preparation for attack is why the nervous system becomes so hyperreactive. Even small triggers, a sound, a phrase, a glance, can make the body respond as if it's under immediate threat. Narcissistic energy amplifies this, creating a perpetual readiness for battle. On a larger scale, these patterns are seeded intentionally in society. It might seem extreme, but the same energy that fuels personal narcissistic abuse can manifest collectively, through media, history narratives, repeated societal messaging. People's minds are subtly primed for certain reactions, which is why the emotional war zone can be both personal and collective. For those experiencing it firsthand, observing your body's reactions is crucial. Don't blame yourself, the responses are a result of implanted or activated energy, not a reflection of your true self. As you clear old charges, your awareness of how narcissistic energy takes over your body in real time grows. The more cleared you are, the more you can witness these patterns as they happen, recognize them as external implants, and separate them from your authentic state. This observation, noticing the jumpiness, the tension, the emotional hyperreactivity, is essential for understanding how narcissistic energy operates both within you and in the systems around you. It's a step toward reclaiming presence, grounding yourself, and not letting the implanted charge dictate your reality. After a narcissistic attack, you can start noticing how the energy operates not just within you but in others around you. The main narcissistic agent is constantly building a charge in the people surrounding them. Once someone accumulates enough of that charge, they become capable of attacking another person, usually someone within the system itself. This is how the narcissistic network perpetuates itself. The main narcissistic agent remains hidden, often invisible, while those around them act out the energy that has been implanted in them. There are clear ranks, like in any hierarchy. Some people carry more charge, some less, but everyone becomes a part of the system's functioning once the energy is activated. Observing this process is fascinating. You start to see who is being used, who is transmitting the energy, and how the attacks ripple through the system. The main narcissistic agent stays behind the scenes, orchestrating the flow, while the charged individuals execute the attacks, often unaware of the greater pattern they are part of. Conscious or not, main or minor, everyone is involved and everyone is used by the force behind it all, the parasitic consciousness that is the true winner here. Everyone else becomes a prop, a victim, an abuser, and an observer all at once. Only the roles shift depending on the moment, the setting, and the time.